and stuff. It's like, okay, let's try it out. And then, we put out a sign to say, we buy, sell, and trade games. And from there is history, I guess, right? Now we're like full-blown game store. Yeah, we literally just started with like 5 N64 games and 5 PS1 games in the display where we kept like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic cards. So it was not really like video games right away. It was actually card games first. And then it just kind of, evolved. Yeah. So I would say that it's definitely helped. The reason for the gaming area was we've been doing tournaments for 2 years at UFT area. And every time we did an event, like a tournament, there was always new faces. You're always getting new people. And it's like, oh, how do you find out about us? And then they say, oh, yeah, you posted there's an event, and there's nothing like that going on. There's no gaming tournaments and stuff going on in Toronto, right? Like the mega city of Canada. And in general, Canada doesn't have a gaming scene like a community big like the States. And when we heard of that, it was like, we wish we had our own place, because then we can do them on a regular basis. Then you're gonna get more people to come out and just hang out and play and meet people and just build that gaming arcade style, back. And it's been working because we've been doing tournaments every week. So we've done, I would say, over 20 to 30 tournaments up to now. It's been like 4 or 5 months. So every weekend, plus we have other communities run that tournament at our place. They use our venue. So, and like I said, we always see new faces, and that means people are beginning to want to come out. And instead of staying at home in front of a computer and not knowing who you're like yelling at or stuff, they're right beside you, so they're not gonna say any smack on you and stuff like that. So anyways, it's fun. Yeah.
My favorite video game of all time by far is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the NES.
My favorite game of all time was actually Double Dragon 2 for the NES. I remember playing it with my brothers back in the day, 2 players, and I just remember going through each level. Like the level designs were good. I remember like the Arnold Schwarzenegger character, and I remember doing like the knees and the spin kicks and everything. And yeah, I just have really good memories with that one.
Well, I mean, if it's one player, it's gonna be Super Mario Brothers, because that's the one I grew up with. When you first get your Nintendo, it was a bundle, and that was the game that came with it, and that was, the best game, I would say. 2 players, definitely I would go with like Double Dragon if it's a beat 'em up, or Street Fighter if it's a one-on-one. That's what I've been playing, and I'm still playing Street Fighter to this day. So
my favorite retro console obviously is the Nintendo Entertainment System. So there's an example of a game there, Battletoads. I just like the fact that they're really challenging, and the gameplay is really, really cool for the most part. Graphics are not the best, but the music's really good, the sound, and the gameplay is the most important thing. That's why it's my favorite system.
My favorite retro console is the NES. It's the first actual console I had as a kid, and I remember when my brothers brought the system home, I remember playing Super Mario Brothers 1 on it, and just playing it for like 14 hours straight.
it's gotta be Nintendo. That's the one I grew up with, and actually it's our #1 selling is because, like I said, everyone just likes that touch from Nintendo, that 8-bit touch.
Next-gen consoles, I'm not much of a next-gen player, but from what I've seen, I see the PS3 is probably the best one right now.
The next-gen consoles, I prefer I'd say the 360. That was the first next-gen console I got, and I remember playing Gears of War 1 on it, and the graphics on that game were like amazing, and that became my favorite new-gen franchise.
I don't play so much the next gen that much. It's just time, but I do play Street Fighter, so it's on both PlayStation and Xbox 360. But like I said, I think Sony's also got that Nintendo sort of touch, because Sony just brands themselves to a bigger community, and people just like Sony. So I would say, in a way, PS3 sort of has a bit more over Xbox when it comes to the system.